Hello everyone, it is the AI programmer back at you once again with another video. This time we're going to be taking a look at an article here titled Running Untrusted JavaScript Code. Now before we get into this, I just want to say that this is a bit of a long read or breakdown, so this will probably be broken up into multiple videos. So do be on the lookout for part two and or 3/4 um, to coincide with this video or follow up with this first or part one. Now let's jump right into it. So what's up, guys? I wanted to pretty much make this video to kind of go over this article about JavaScript and the dangers of running untrusted JavaScript code. Um, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it, right? So we're just going to pretty much, this is my first time taking a look at this article. And what we're going to do is just kind of go through it and see what we can gather from it, right? And we'll start with some of the main points. So should probably start here. This is about running JavaScript and TypeScript code only. That being said, the writing might also be the direction to run other code in other languages. Well, that's pretty much, I want to say, it should be common sense, right? Um, but that's kind of a disclaimer there. So allowing users to execute their code within your application opens up a world of customization and functionality. Yes, that's a positive. Yet it exposes your platform to significant security threats. So that's one of the cons of that. So this is not something that is, I want to say, that's typically allowed, right? You don't typically want users to be able to execute code within your application, right? But for some applications that are more advanced, it's beneficial, but it does come with that extra overhead of making sure security is up to par, right? So January features an editor that allows users to write canon lang. This is an internal TypeScript DSL. This DSL defines and shapes users' APIs through the concept of workflows. Now, and is later executed to create a data structure that the compiler understands. So we have searched for the best way to execute the code securely for quite some time. Given that it is user code, everything is expected from halting the servers to stealing sensitive information. So I think he's talking about just I'm sorry, just let me kind of give some context here. So January is the name of this specific um website or application here. And so this, they have an editor that allows users to write canon lang. So that's what this is referencing. Um, so yeah, let's jump back to where we were. So we started by using Docker to run the code, but soon enough, the language capabilities mandated more than passing the code through the containers. So this is them trying to search for ways to execute code securely. Besides, for some reason, the server memory spikes frequently. We run the code inside self-removable containers on every 1 second debounce keystroke. In the end, we choose not to run the code indirectly, but rather statically. Simply put, figure out all the parts that need to be executed, and then do that in the host machine. Us. That also advantaged us by being mistake tolerant. So as long as there is code that can be run and syntactically correct, it will it'll despite other incomplete code. This article will explore various strategies to mitigate run user code, including web worker, static code analysis, and more. So I don't want to say this article is poorly written, but it definitely could be written a lot better. There's often lots of missing. I don't know. I want to say it's like bits and pieces when you're almost reading to some of these tech blogs or articles. That's why I kind of started this series for YouTube. So all right. So let's just kind of go through just these three. And then we'll save the methods for last. So you should care. There are many scenarios where you need to run user provided code, ranging from collaborative development environments like Code Sandbox and StackBlitz. Yep, I do have experience with these. To customizable API platforms like January, even code playgrounds are susceptible to risk. Namely, the two essential advantages of safely running user-provided code are gaining your user's trust. Even if the user is trustworthy, they may execute code copied from other intently bad people. Secure your environment. The last thing you need is a piece of code halting your server. Think while true. So this is a while loop. Defining sensitive information. Running user code isn't harmful until you're concerned that this might subject some data to be stolen. Whatever data you're concerned about will be considered sensitive information. For instance, in most cases, JWT is sensitive information. Yep. Perhaps when used as an authentication mechanism, what could go wrong? Consider the potential risk of JWT stored in cookies sent with every request. A user could inadvertently trigger a request that sends the JWT to a malicious server, and cross-site scripting, XSS, denial of service, data exfiltration without proper safeguards. These threats can compromise the integrity and performance of your application. So this is just kind of an overview of the importance of user provided code in in applications, and ensuring that security is a top priority when you do so. Now let's kind of go into and it's like I said, this is, I don't want to say it's poorly written, but this is one of those articles where it's a little harder to break down. I might have to do a second. There will be a part two, and I'll probably do some prep work beforehand to kind of break this article down a bit more. Um, that's so that it's easier to understand for all of us. So let's kind of jump to the conclusion really quick. So, conclusion, running user code is a double-edged sword. It can provide a lot of functionality and customization to your platform, but it also exposes you to significant security risk. It's essential to understand the risk and take appropriate measures to mitigate them. And remember that the more isolated the environment, the safer it is. Okay, so right, running user code is a double-edged sword. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I want to say all of this. I guess this is not common knowledge, but this is not stuff that you're typically gonna be running into. Or so let's kind of look at some of the methods now of um yeah, yeah, well, let's actually save the methods. We'll save the methods because I'll make part two a little bit more informative, and break this down a bit more. We're coming up on 10 minutes, so yeah, man, it's crazy. um so yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Make sure you guys check out January. It's a decent blog. This is my first time actually checking out a post from this site. So yeah, but pretty decent blog. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. Gonna keep coming with the videos, and everything's gonna keep getting better. So stay tuned. Lots of AI videos coming. That's it for this one, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe once again, and as always, keep coding.